I'm very excited. Now, the story begins. Once upon a time, there was a rose who was so proud for her beautiful looks. Her only complaint was that, growing next to an ugly cactus. Always the rose would insult and mock the cactus, but the cactus remained quiet. All the other plants made the rose to see sense, but she was too straight by her own looks. Always the cactus do like this with the rose. What happened? Then, one scorching summer, the desert became dry. There was no water left for the plants. Rose became white. Her beautiful petals dried up and lost their colors. Her beautiful petals dried up and lost their colors. Looking at the cactus, shaved Rose asked the cactus, "Can I have some water?" The cactus was kind. He really agreed. Through the tough summer as friends, at last I want to say that we should not judge anyone by their looks. We should think twice or thrice before saying someone anything. Thank you and have a nice day.
Present here. Today I, Diljot Singh of class 9K, standing in front of you to tell you about a story containing the title Positivity. Once upon a time, in a village, there lived an old woman named Radha. She was very happy for what she had, but she never had her husband and her children. Her husband left her many years ago. Now she was alone and she had no children. So she had to work hard and she lived near a banyan tree. One day a woman named Radha came to her to ask for the advice because her husband had left her and went to city to find the work. She was very worried for her children and she wanted that someone give her money and advice. She asked to the woman that what do you think had happened to your husband? She replied that I think something negative had happened. The old woman said, don't be worried and don't think negatively. You should be thinking positively because if we think the negative, we feel the worst. But if we think positively, we feel the better. So you should think positive. The Radha left the old lady's house and she started to work more hard and take care of her children. She started to praise the God and think positively. After few weeks, her husband sent some money and sent a letter that he found a job in the city and he will send the loads of money every month. Radha was overexcited and she remembered the words of the old lady. So moral we get is we should always think positive because positivity leads to success. Thank you.
To start a story, my story's topic is problems in life. Once upon a time, there was a man who was very upset with his life. His life was full of problems. When he was at a very young age, his father had passed away. So all the responsibilities of the home came to him. Now he had to take care of his mother and his younger siblings. Now, when he got older, he got married to a woman, thinking that his problems would get better. But no problems got better. So one day, tired and frustrated, he went to a monk, told that, "Sir, I want to learn the words and become your student." The monk said, "Sir, student, you can be my student, but tell me what's bothering you." The man told that my life is full of problems. Sometimes it is a financial issue, sometimes it is a problem in my home, sometimes it is a problem where I work, sometimes some other. The monk patiently listened and said that, "You can stay with me in my cottage for now." The monk then said that, "Student, come, let's go to another village." The both student and the master set out to their journey. On their way to their journey, they arrived before a river, where the master said that, "We have to cross this river, but the water is flowing." The man nodded. After a few time, the man said that, "Master, you said that we have to cross the river, but the water is flowing." The man said that, the monk said that when the water will dry up, then we will cross it. It is flowing now. The man said that, "Master, how is it even that possible that it will dry up on its own?" The man then said that we have to cross it, however hard it is. The monk said that, "Exactly, this is what I wanted you to understand." The man didn't understand the monk's question and asked him how. The monk replied that problems is like just flowing river. It is always in our life. At the last, I would like to say that problems are a part of life. No one has a life without struggle. We should try to overcome it. Thank you.
Myself, will caught standing in front of you to deliver my story on the topic Story of Small Seed. Once upon a time, there was a small seed lying on the vast field and wondering what is the purpose of mine in this life. It was watching the flowers blooming, people walking by, etc., and wondered, what is my purpose in this life? I am just a small seed. I cannot do anything. One day, a gentle breeze whispered to the seed, you may be small, but you have the potential to do something great. You should release your roots deep the earth. With the help of the sun, you may grow. The seed decided to grow. It began to sprout. It releases its roots, reached to the soil, and with the help of sun, it began to sprout. Then first it became a small plant, then eventually a tree. It became the site of oxygen and shade for weary travelers. So moral of the story is you may be small or insignificant, but you have the potential to do something great. Believe in yourself and pursue your passions. The success can be achieved only by efforts. Thank you and have a nice day.
Dear director, sir, all the teachers and my dear friends, today I am Puniti Mehra standing here in front of you all, expressing a short but a moral story for you all. The story name is The Water and the Well. Let's start the story. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of King Akbar, lived one farmer whose name was Ramu. He was a very good and very kind-hearted person. But on the other side, his neighbor, whose name was Kishore, was very greedy and very bad person. He used to disturb others, and he always made fun of Ramu whether he has worked hard or whether he has helped to anyone. Ramu was very angry and very disturbed by this kind of behavior of Kishore. Few years ago, Kishore had sold his well and water to Ramu, but because of Kishore's greediness, he used to fill water from the well without taking permission of Ramu. Ramu angrily asked Kishore to take his permission before filling the water, but Kishore never paid attention to him. Instead, he always made fun of him. One day, Ramu told Kishore that you will not fill water without my permission. After listening this, Kishore told to Ramu he will use water from the well without taking permission of him or without paying money to him because he owns the well and the water. They both started arguing on this topic but can't reach an exact solution. They both thought of settling this dispute in the court of King Akbar. King Akbar's court was not just a normal court in the people of his kingdom, but was the court of fairness, justice, and peace to them. The next day, they both reached to the King Akbar's court and told all the matter to King Akbar. After listening the matter, King Akbar was very confused, so he called his smartest minister, Birbal. Birbal told to everyone that the water and the well both were owned by the farmer. After listening the answer, Kishore angrily asked Birbal to prove it. Birbal told to Kishore, he has sold the water and well, but you are always using water without taking permission of Ramu. You should pay money to Ramu for storing your water inside his well, or you should not store your water inside his well. After listening the answer, Kishore became very worried and felt ashamed. He asked for forgiveness of Ramu. Ramu forgave him and sent to King Birbal and King Akbar. Thanks for the story. The moral of the story is cheating will eventually lead to your downfall only.
Thank you so much.
To our present, dear respected directors, our teachers, and my all dear friends. Today I am here in front of you from class 9th telling you a story whose title is The Broken Pencil. Once upon a time, there was a boy whose name was Arav. He was bright, talented, and always wanted everything to be done perfect. His handwriting, drawing, even his test papers. But he has one bad habit. He always gave up whenever something went wrong. Once he was doing his homework, his pencil tip broken. He threw it angrily and said, Now this pencil is of no use. I don't want this pencil. But the grandfather who was looking at him came silently and picked up the pencil and said, Arav, why you have thrown this pencil? Arav replied, Grandfather, this pencil is of now no use. I don't want this pencil. Grandfather smiled and replied, Arav, this pencil is just like you. Sometimes life brings mistakes or failures, but it does not mean that we are useless. Arav thought about it very deeply. Next day in school, he has a competition of his race. He got last position in the race. Instead of being upset, he practiced more than hard work. He got less marks in his maths test. Instead of being upset, he practiced more, listening to teachers attentively, expressing whatever he wanted. By time, he got winning prizes from everyone and earning respect. Not because he was perfect, because he never gave up. One day his friends asked him, Arav, how do you change so much? Arav replied, a broken pencil taught me that being sharpened is always in our hands. So, the moral of the story is, failure do not define us, our efforts to rise do. Thank you and have a nice day.
Today I am going to tell you a story that teaches us something very special. That true happiness lies not in power or wealth, but in being content with who you are. The title of the story is The Stonecutter Who Wanted to Be Powerful. Once upon a time, in a village near the foot of a mountain, lived a poor stonecutter named Hari. He worked hard every day, cutting stones in the hot sun. He wasn't rich, but his heart was kind. But still deep inside, he was unhappy. He looked at others and thought, why is their life better than mine? One afternoon, while carrying heavy stone, he saw a rich merchant passing by in a golden carriage. Everybody bowed with respect to him. He sighed, if only I could be that rich merchant, I would be truly happy. Suddenly a divine voice echoed, so be it. And in a blink, he became the rich merchant. He wore silk clothes, ate delicious food, and gave orders all day, until one day he realized the king was even more powerful than him. And he cried, I want to be the king. He cried, I want to be the king. And he became, just like that, he became the king, sitting on a throne, wearing a crown. But soon he noticed that but one day the sun shone fiercely, and he cried, even the king can't control the sun. I want to be the sun. And just like that, he became the sun, shining brightly over the world. And just like that, he became the sun, shining brightly over the world, until one day a cloud came floated in front of him. He shouted, a cloud dares to cover me? I want to be the cloud. The divine voice answered again, so be it. And as a cloud, he poured rain, covered the skies, until one day a strong wind blew him away. He shouted, the wind is stronger than me, I want to be the wind. He became a wind, bending trees, bending rivers, until one day he came across a mountain that didn't even move an inch. And he shouted, the mountain is strongest of all, I want to become that mountain. Now he became a mountain, tall, proud, unmoving. But suddenly he felt something sharp, chip, and soon the realization struck that the stonecutter is even more powerful than the mountain. He wanted to become the most powerful, and all along he already was. And he bowed to the divine voice and answered and said, I am happy being myself. So the moral of the story is, the true happiness lies not in becoming someone else, but in accepting who you are. Thank you and have a nice day.
Okay. It is a story about two friends, Ram and Sham. They lived near a river and worked as a fishermen. One day, Ram caught a huge fish, which was very expensive at that time. Sham became jealous and snatched it from him and drank as much as he could. Ram was said, but he had no other option left. So the doctor cut his finger. But after 2 days, when Sham was recovering, Sham's arm started paining too. He went to the doctor and said, Doctor, please check my arm. Why it is paining so much? The doctor checked his arm and said that because of the spread of the infection, we need to cut your arm. Sham became more upset, but he didn't have any other option left. So the doctor cut his arm. Sham thought that Ram had done something to him. He went to Ram and said, Ram, what did you do to me? Did you curse me or did some kind of black magic on me? That's why I am suffering from so many troubles. Ram replied, No, I have not done anything to you. I just prayed to my God for justice, not for revenge. Sham realized his mistake, that his bad actions led to his suffering. He asked for forgiveness from Ram and Ram forgave him. This story teaches us a valuable lesson that we should always do good to others, because if we will do good, then good will come back to us. And if we will do bad, bad will come back to us. Now it's upon you how you want to live your life, because you may escape from people's punishment, but you can't escape from God's punishment. Thank you and have a good day.
To one and all present here. Myself, Matt, student of class 10C, going to represent the story on the topic, the final exam. This story is related to a poor small boy. He is having all-torn shoes, and he walked with that all-torn shoes toward his dream, and he succeeded in becoming a doctor. The story begins with, it was a bright morning, the day of final exam. Students were running with notes, anxious faces, and last-minute revisions. But in one corner of the school sat Ravi, staring at his all-torn shoes. He wasn't worried about the exam. He was worried if his shoes would survive one more day. Ravi was from a small village, and his mother worked as a maid, and his father passed away 2 years ago. Life was hard, but still Ravi had a dream to make his mother proud by becoming a doctor. Every day he studied under the street light because his house had no electricity. He used to walk 5 kilometers to reach his school, barefoot sometimes, but with a heart full of determination. That day, while everyone rushed into exam hall, Ravi stood outside thinking something. His shoes had turned off completely. A few boys laughed at him and said, Hey Ravi, you should fix your shoes instead of studying. So he smiled softly and said, I can fix my shoes later, but my dreams can't wait. He entered the exam hall late with his faded t-shirt, dusty feet, but with a sharp and craving mind. The teacher phoned him and said, You are late. So he folded his hand in front of teacher and said, My shoes has turned off completely. That's the reason why I am late. Please let me write. I am here. So by seeing the miserable condition of poor Ravi, something softened in teacher's eyes, and he nodded and allowed Ravi to write the exam. The Ravi wrote all the exam with his heart. His every word, every answer was closer to his dream. And as the result came, Ravi stood first, and whole school was shocked because he did top in the entire district. And the boys who laughed at him few days before now clapped the loudest. Reporters came, cameras flashed, but in that proud moment, Ravi looked for a single person. That was his mother, who had supported him alone in his hard times. His mother stood in one corner of the school, eyes full of tears, and she was holding a small box in her hand. And inside the box, there was a brand new pair of shoes. His mother said, Ravi, my son, you have walked towards your dreams with barefoot. Now walk with pride toward your victory. After listening this, Ravi hugged his mother tightly and said, Ma, these shoes will always remind me every struggle was worth it. After listening this, tears rolled in Ravi's mother's eyes. But this time these tears were of victory. And after many years passed away, today Ravi is Dr. Ravi Sharma, helping hundreds of poor people who can't afford the better treatment. And he often says that your situation is not your final destination. If you have courage, honesty, and strong determination, then no obstacle can stop you. So what we learned from this story? We learned that hard work and honesty
they fly. To fly, we need wings. Wings, not of feathers, but of determination. So a very warm good afternoon to one and all present here. Today I just called from 8th standard to share such dream of a girl who was dared to think, dared to try, and dared to dream. So let us start the story titled Wings of Determination. Once there was a girl in small town named Meera, but always thinking how to fulfill dreams from a poor family. But there was only one big thing she could see in her village. The big thing was the sky. But her friends laughed on her that why you are always thinking that you will become a pilot. How? You are from a poor village, poor family. How? How you will become a pilot? But she replied them very confidently and softly. No, I will become pilot and I will touch the clouds as a pilot because my father encourages me. She never stopped. One day, her teacher announced in school that there is an essay writing competition in district level. The topic of it is the role and the dream in your life. She participated in it and result she stood first in whole district. The small victory gave her big wins. After completing her study, she applied for a pilot scholarship. She selected for an interview level. Some officers asked, Meera, you are from small town. Flying is not easy task. Why do you think that you can fly? Meera answered softly, Sir, I can fly because I am determined, courage and full with hope. The planes are also rising against the wind. I can also rise against my sorrows and the unhappy days. So I will rise higher and higher. They were very impressed with her. After a few months, her father got a letter. His hands were trembling and shivering. That what's this? He read that her daughter was selected for National Pilot Candidate Program. A large feast was done for whole village. Meera was very happy because her dreams had took a flight into this wonderful sky. She was very happy on her first solo flight and looked into her small village with rolling tears, not of fear but of joy. She whispered that I did it. I became a pilot. I made my father proud with my courage, determination. So the ultimate takeaway of this story is the dreams. They are not dependent upon from where you are coming from. They are depending on higher you are thinking to rise to determine yourself. So this story remembers us that determination are the pair of wings, which how big they are strong, that how higher we will rise. How much they are strong, how higher we will rise. Thank you and have a nice day.
Everyone, respected teachers and my dear friends, today I am going to for our 10th day here to tell about the bird who carries her memory. Once upon a time, in the heart of a deep silence, there lived a little bird with feathers that like sunlight in the water. Her heart was pure, her song was gentle and her eyes was sparkled with kindness and love. But what made her truly special was her little strange habit. Every morning she collects the moment of her joy, a spark of her sorrow, a whisper of her wind, and a warmth of the sun, and carved them into tiny stones. Each stone had a memory. And she kept them on her back and on her back. These turns into weak. The bag grew heavier and heavier. Yet the little bird smiled and replied, This bag holds my life, my joy, my fear, my lesson. It is my treasure. One day a wise old monk saw her, struggling to fly. He asked gently, Why do you wear such type of heavy bag? She replied proudly, It contains my life through which I live. The monk smiled and sadly replied, Memories are not meant to be guided. Memories are meant to guide us, not to weigh you down. Let guide them. The monk retired, smiled and replied, Memories are not meant to you down. The past is gone. Focus on your future. But the bird did not understand. She tried and until her wings could not lift longer. The bird fallen to fly, but the burdens of her memories pulled her down to the ground. The bird
the sky. It was a quiet morning in the small coastal town of Rameshwaram, surrounded by the blue waves of the Indian Ocean. The smell of salt filled the air and fishermen prepared their boats for another day at the sea. Among them was a little boy named Abdul, who was helping his father tie the fishing nets. His hands were small, but his dreams were much larger than the endless sky above him. After finishing his work, Abdul quickly ran to his school. His bag was on his back, his old slipper kicking off dust on the narrow road. Though his uniform was faded and his lunch was simple, but his eyes shone with determination and curiosity. That day, in the science class, the teacher drew an airplane on the chalkboard. The chalk squeaked as he said, "One day, India will build its own airplane." The class burst with excitement, but one boy sat quietly, completely mesmerized. His eyes were following each line of the chalk. The boy was Abdul. He desperately raised his hand and said, "Sir, can I also build an airplane one day?" The class erupted in laughter. You're just a fisherman's son," one of the boys teased. Abdul lowered his eyes, but before one tear could fall out, the teacher gently placed his hand on his shoulder and said, "Don't listen to them, my boy. Dreams are not what you see while you sleep. They are what keep you awake and make you work harder." Those lines struck Abdul like a spark. From that moment, his life completely changed. After finishing his chores, he studied under the street light because his home had no electricity. His mother would call out from the kitchen, "Abdul, my child, come and sleep, it's late." He would smile and reply, "No mother, I'll only sleep when I reach the sky." Rain or storm, nothing could stop him. When the wind blew his papers away, he ran behind them, soaked but smiling. Years passed away. Abdul joined the Defense Research and Development Organization, the DRDO, and the Indian Space Research Organization. He faced many failures in his life. His first rocket launch was a miserable failure. Newspaper called it India's biggest disaster. Many people lost hope, but not Abdul. He gathered his team and said, "Failure is not the end. It is the first step towards success." The second launch was a great success, and the launch lifted India into the skies of space science. The boy who looked at airplanes with wonder became Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the missile man of India and later the people's president. But yet, he remained humble and always smiling and inspiring. After being the president, he visited schools. One day, a student asked him, "Sir, how do you become such a great man?" Abdul Kalam said, "Because once a teacher made me believe so." He always inspired students by saying, "Dream, dream, dream," because dreams turn into thoughts and thoughts turn into actions. His one line inspired lives of millions, that it does not matter where you are born. What does matter is how high you dream. So, what is the moral of the story? Dream big, stay humble, because no dream is too big if your heart is soft and your efforts are true. Thank you and have a nice day.
Tell this way that you want to achieve something big, have big dreams, but when it's time to react, you delay. You say, "Tomorrow." If you are ambitious but lazy, then this story is for you. Good morning everyone, good evening and good afternoon everyone. Today, Irony Kaur of class 8B stands here going to share a story of a lazy farmer with you. Once upon a time, in a small village, lived a farmer named Mohan. He was very strong, wealthy and full of dreams. But he always was lazy. He told to his friends that I will be the richest guy in the village, I will do this, I will do that, but he can't do it. Everyone in the village admired his ambition, but he can't do it because he was lazy. So, his field was empty. Once a time, Mohan's uncle came to visit him. He said, it and it will turn into a great tree which gives fruits, wealth and everything. But the second one, it's the laziness seed. If you grow it, it will grow by its own. It will grow so fast that it will cover weeds all over your field and destroy everything. So Mohan thought, I will sow only the ambition seed because I want success. But days passed by. He forgot about the seed. One day, out of his boredom, he planted both the seeds and said, I will see whatever will happen, I will see that later. Now, weeks passed by, he spent his speaking, gossiping, sleeping and everything. So, one day, accidentally, he went to his fields and saw there and was surprised that this ambition seed was dying because of lack of water. But the laziness seed had covered all his field with weeds. And this was the first time he realized the truth. And now, Mohan's uncle returned and came. My dear son, I told you that ambition seed is the small seed which need care, efforts and actions. But laziness seed, it grows by its own. It doesn't need any action. It doesn't need any efforts. It is your life also. How your ambition is covered by laziness. This was the first time he realized the truth. Now, he was putting to himself that I will achieve my success. He went next morning, before the sun rose, he went to the field and took all the weeds with his hands and said, I will do this and water the ambition seed. Slowly, the ambition seed has grown into a small plant and then into a great tree which gave fruits, strength and everything. Now, he was feeling very happy because he was no more lazy. He worked hard too. He was very happy. Because he was the richest guy in his village. Everyone respected him and his fields glowed with golden crops. Because as he wanted, as he got his success. So moral of the story is, dreams are nothing without effort. So my dear friends, today if we see back into our life, we feel that how it is important to have big dreams. But they come true if we have the courage and the efforts to do so. So if we want to be an athlete, an engineer or a doctor, we have to do efforts for those. Nothing can be wished or we will get it. We have to do efforts, hard work and everything to achieve your goals. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon everyone present here. Today I, Sahajprit Kaur of class 9th D, is going to share a story that shows how a small act of kindness can make a big difference. So let's begin. In a quiet village nestled between green hills lived a young girl named Meera. She was kind, polite and loved by everyone. But one thing she disliked about herself was that she always compared her life to others. If a friend got a new dress, Meera wanted a better one. If someone got praised in class, Meera felt jealous. She often complained, why is everyone's life better than mine? Even though she smiled outside, inside her heart, she felt empty and restless. One morning, as Meera was walking to school, she saw an old shop that she has never noticed before. Above its rusty door was a wooden board that read, "The magic mirror shows you the truth." Curious, Meera went inside. The old woman with kind eyes greeted her. "You can look into the mirror," she said. "But remember, this mirror doesn't show your face. It shows your heart." When Meera looked into the mirror, she got shocked. Her reflection was dull, blurry and cracked, not like her pretty face in the real mirror. She cried, "What is this?" The old woman said gently, "It's the truth, dear. Every time you envy others or make a complaint, a crack appears in your heart. You are beautiful, but in jealousy hides that beauty." From next day, Meera started doing good deeds. She helped her classmate with her homework. She thanked her mother for the simplest need. She praised her friend's new dress instead of being jealous. Slowly, she started feeling lighter. Her laughter became real. Her eyes became warmer. And she started noticing how beautiful life truly was. After a few weeks, when Meera returned to the same shop and looked into the same mirror again, and this time, her reflection shone brightly. Her face looked peaceful. Her eyes became warmer and cracks had almost disappeared. The woman said gently, "See, Meera, the mirror didn't change. You did." Meera asked softly, "Can I keep it?" The old woman nodded, "Yes, but remember, its magic works only if you keep your heart clean." From that day, Meera kept that same old mirror on her study table, which reminds her for being kind and thankful. Years later, Meera grew up to become a teacher, known not for her looks, but for her kindness, warmth, and glowing heart. Meera kept that same old mirror in her classroom and told her students, "The real beauty is not your face, it's in your heart." And whenever her students asked, "Ma'am, is this mirror really magical?" she replied and said, "Yes, because kindness itself is the greatest magic." So what did we learn from the story? We learned that kindness is the light that never fades, no matter how dark the world seems. Thank you and have a great day.
Comfortable zone. Yes, this is the word that stops us from going ahead, from starting any new thing. A very good afternoon, one of our present here. I am Shani from class 7th is here to share a story with you, encouraging us to be ready for any new beginning ever. In the basement of a museum, many old paintings were stored. Paintings no one had ever seen. Dust covered their frames and silence filled the air. Among those old paintings, a tiny bird had made its little nest. A nest, delicate yet strong, woven with love and dreams. For her, that corner of the museum was the safest and the most beautiful place in the world. Day after day, she decorated her nest. She believed nothing could ever harm it. But one day, the sound of footsteps and heavy boxes broke the silence. The museum staff started cleaning. One by one, paintings were taken upstairs to be displayed. Other birds, frightened by the noise, abandoned their nests and flew away. But the little bird refused. Not all the paintings would be taken. She thought, "Surely my home will remain safe." She clung to hope, unwilling to leave the place she loved most. But the fate had other plans. Other morning, workers came to that corner. They lifted the very painting on which her nest rested. She fluttered helplessly, but there was nothing she could do. With a heavy heart, she left her home behind. She left her home behind, and for days, she wandered the city skies, lost and hungry, sad. She thought, "Why God took my beautiful home? What wrong did I do?" But her spirit did not break. She decided to keep flying, to keep searching. Then one day, she saw it. A lush green garden, full of flowers and trees. In a quiet corner, sunlight fell gently through the trees. It was perfect. With a new hope, she began again. Twig by twig, she made another nest. And this time, it was bigger, stronger, and even more beautiful than before. As she set her new home, she realized something. Surprised that if my old nest hadn't been taken, I would have never found this paradise. In life, there are moments